is.
Old school it is.
Do you have your speaker? Yeah.
Do I
Wow.
have my speaker? Everyone reporting.
This is Chris.
This is Chrissy,
I'm Jeff.
And I'm mental.
and we are Everyone Racers. Welcome to a Mount St. Helena's episode of our podcast. On this day, 42 years ago, we're recording on Wednesday, May 18th, in 1980. Mount St. Helens, a volcanic peak in southwestern Washington, suffered a massive eruption, killing 57 people and devastating 210 square miles of wilderness. Mount St. Helens volcanic cone was completely blasted away and replaced by a horseshoe-shaped crater. It produced 5 smaller explosive eruptions during the summer and fall of 1980, and it remains active today. 2 years later, after it exploded the first time, it became a protected research area. So you want to have a safe but real blast? Grab an E1R bingo card. Can't even take credit for the last line on there. It's so cute. What you working on? Let's talk about mental, because I know what the other two were working on.
Wait a second. So, Mental, you wrote that, right? The Mount St.
Yes.
Helens thing?
Yes.
And we decided the only one here who's probably not old enough to remember that.
Yes.
She was the only one that wasn't born then. I don't really remember it. I was one.
I'm old.
I actually remember seeing it on the news. I do. So.
I remember people buying little vials of ash.
Oh, cool.
I remember hearing about hot rodders in Montana because they would all just take their air cleaners off and then they were sucking in volcanic ash and ultimately lining their cylinders with what would turn out to be glass and ruining their engines.
That seems like a terrible idea.
It is.
Anyway, I didn't mean to interrupt. Go ahead, Chrissy. Ask Mental again.
Mental, what you working on?
So we spoke last week. I'm getting on my fitness and I have ruptured a tendon. I have not been able to walk for the last couple of days properly.
Oh, no.
The opening conversation with everyone is, why are you limping? And today, even a couple times, it actually got the pain was so acute. It was starting to make me nauseous. So I'm going to have to find out new fitness stuff. I've got ice packs. I'm wearing an ankle brace on there, but it's right there at the base of my heel. The tendon is swollen and it feels like it's trying to just pull up there. Chris is pointing at himself because that is a similar injury. And Chrissy, you had something on that.
I was going to say a place that you should work out is probably your pool. That might be a good thing.
Yeah. Last year I bought an elastic belt that hooks to giant surgical tubing so I can swim in place. So,
yeah,
I should try and do that.
Yep.
And after
low
it gets
impact.
a little bit better, cycling is a nice lower impact exercise on that Achilles.
The old ladies at the pool where I go swimming have these foam barbells that they submerge.
Okay. I'm 51, Jeff. I'm not 70. I'm not doing water aerobics.
I know they look like they have a lot of fun.
They really do. When we were in Florida, I watched them every day and said, I was going to go down and join them.
Looks fun.
But also nobody's going to see you. So why do you care?
Because it's at my age, it's not an effective workout. I can do regular. I can lift weights. I've got a body weight
You just
machine.
need bigger styrofoam barbells, like a novelty strongman styrofoam barbells.
giant foam balls that gets Nerf balls that get soaking wet and say 100 pounds on them. All right,
Yeah, just get one of those yoga balls, push it to the bottom of your pool. Great workout.
I mean, videotape this when you do, because yeah.
Oh boy.
But speaking of pool, so I had to drain the hot tub in order to drain it. While I was there, if you guys remember, it was up on that small wooden platform, which Vicky hates, and the wood was getting a little questionable to begin with. So you know what? While it's empty, I'm going to pull it off there and then dispose of the wooden platform and just have it resting on the concrete. And lo and behold, I found, while moving my hot tub, an entirely new hot tub.
What?
So, yo dog, I heard you
dog.
like hot tubs. So we put a hot tub under your hot tub. So this is instead of being concrete all the way across, it's someone filled this full of gravel. And if you could, just to get a frame of reference, the tile right there in this last picture is the same original tile that was on our pool that we had replaced. So I'm going to dig this gravel out and see what it's going to take to get this thing working again. If it doesn't work, I'm going to fill it back up full of gravel and put a hot tub over it.
Well,
I mean, I
think you found your workout.
Hey, I have this feeling that they.
Yes, you go to gulag. You do shovel gravel out of hot tub.
I just have this feeling that they probably fill it in for a reason. But
well, so
good
I did research on that, and the thing about these in-ground hot tubs is they're fairly robust because they're basically just pools. And but a lot
There's
of
probably
people,
a pipe broken in under the
Like,
concrete,
deep, far
and
away.
That's the problem.
or they just didn't like that you couldn't, you know, you don't have the adjustability, you don't have those cool back jets or anything like that. So it's, you know, because I need another project.
I mean, that's what we said, but I mean, we said you don't. But
That's
okay.
that would be top of my list, is shovel gravel out of an old hot tub.
I barely mow my lawn.
Oh, that's because you can only afford to replace so many windows on that Corvette and pool covers.
One goat. All right.
One goat.
One goat.
You run over one pool cover, mowing not your lawn and not your lawnmower.
Oh,
All right,
boy.
Jeff.
Well, it was work weekend, and I know that's like the main topic today, so I'm not going to do too much. But I, you know, what I did at my house to get to your house was, you know, I packed up the Dorito Machino, and I took it to the CNC Mayhem factory along with all the parts and things. And I don't know how much I actually built on the car, but I cut more metal than Ozzy Osbourne Metallica show in 1986. I was such a gritty, disgusting kitty all weekend long with all of my arms are still just destroyed from the amount of sparks that hit it.
Burns,
lots of burns. I will say that so I don't know if this is going to be part of the stories, but we kind of broke my I broke my trailer.
We did not do that.
No,
that was
I
rushing.
broke my
You were a little
trailer.
in a hurry getting back
I
out.
was in a hurry getting packed out because I thought my wife was very mad, which it turns out she was like, no, you're with your idiot friends. I know you're not coming back on time, no matter what you say. So
Yep.
I rushed to put the RX-7 in the trailer, and the lip caught the flap hinge on my enclosed trailer and busted it all up. The flap, the hinge, the lip
made
of the
quite a
RX-7.
noise.
Yeah, it was terrible noise. So I went out to Fazio
I'm glad you
Steel.
heard us tell you to stop.
Well,
I
that's different,
stopped.
Chrissy. That's
Yeah, that was
when
the
he
second
drove
one.
away and the door fell off the trailer because
Oh,
it
that
was
wasn't
different.
latched. This is
Oh, I'm sorry.
before
That's
then by
different.
about 20 minutes. It's a separate
I was
incident.
hoping we could like not mention that one.
Oh, I thought that was the one you were talking about. I'm sorry.
No. Go ahead.
That
Mental.
one.
I would like to submit to the board that the door falling off of your trailer, your new-ish trailer, is in fact a general Wakeman problem. It
General
should be
Wakeman
checked.
problem.
Oh,
without a doubt.
absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I
that's
will
fair.
say, because this is what you're working on, I went to Fazio Steel and I got myself the 6-foot stainless steel 4-inch hinge and fixed my trailer so it's all back together. That's it.
And I bought a 6-foot aluminum hinge, or I think it was aluminum, from Amazon. It was like $35, and it's
I paid $14 for
right, exactly. I don't have Fazios nearby.
I paid $40.
Wait, and they had aluminum ones. I seem to remember they were like even cheaper, but they were smaller.
Yeah.
So, by the way, 4-inch means they were like 2 inches, hinge 2 inches. So it like moved the screws to the part where the like plywood wasn't like all effed up from the first time that I ripped the hinge out. So.
Good. Well, congratulations. You fixed
Yeah.
things that you broke.
General Wakeman problems without a doubt.
Pretty much.
Totally. Great.
What
What are you working on? Sorry, I was coughing.
Who?
You.
Chris.
Oh, okay, great. Well, aside from the work weekend, I've been working on the Civic. I was able to get the driver's belt and mounts and all those things in. The battery mounted, all the battery cables run, and you actually run properly with P-clips and riv nuts. Because how did we build race cars before riv nuts? It's like, I want to bolt this thing here.
Don't know.
I'm just going to bolt this thing here. Thank you. It works out great for the low stress things. It makes the car easy to take apart too. When every single thing on the car is a 10mm M6 bolt, practically, it all just comes right apart. Very convenient. I spent a lot of time trying to get a good alignment on this thing. Yeah. So the back. Yeah, well, the back was no problem. And this car shows no signs of any crash damage that I can see anywhere. Everything lines up pretty well.
For the people who are new, because we have some new listeners recently, what exactly are you talking about? It is the Civic. Give us the deets.
It's a 93 Civic hatch with K-swap and all kinds of things. Yeah, it's all the bits from our old 89 hatch that could go onto this new one, essentially. And then it's fairly stock otherwise.
It's a bubble hatch.
Yeah. So trying to get the alignment set. The rear was fine, no problem. That goes in, no problem. The front, though, I've got camber adjusters that are basically a slotted hinge point on the upper control arm on the inside, as opposed to the kind of like a move.
Civic, yep.
Right. The exact same parts, but with different control arms because they're different from the different generations. So in that car, I was able to get all the camber in the world. Like I actually had to dial a lot of it out because we had too much for a while. So I was trying to get like, let's get like 2.5. That'd be nice. So the driver's side with the camber all the way out, like the least amount of camber possible to get it, is 2.4, which, that's very good. The passenger side with the maximum amount of camber I can put into it is 1.8.
Oh.
And this includes doing things like swapping the control arms left to right, because that gives you a little more caster to do that. They're very slightly different, but if you do that,
did you know that?
More caster.
Didn't know that.
How do people come up with this stuff?
Somebody does
put
it
it in wrong
by accident, and they go, where'd all that caster come from?
Or if you just look at it, you can see.
Yeah, it's probably happening.
It includes grinding the back sides of the control arms at the pivot point, grinding that away so it can go all the way into the car and not. I was going to say there's
like a body clearance you have to do back there too a little bit. Right?
So I did that. Taking the bolts that bolt through the hinge points and putting them in a certain way and actually grinding the heads down so that they don't clearance the
inside
area
of the wheel
there.
well,
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Yep. So unbolting the subframe and trying to leverage that over to one side, which it didn't really go. And there's not really a way to do it. Like in the Mazda 3 that we have, you can move the subframe quite considerably, and getting it square is something critical. You actually have to take time to do, and it's critical. This car doesn't really have any adjustment. I loosened it, I leverage it to one side, I tighten it up. This is the best I can do. So we're going to see how it is. The next step is a ball joint, offset ball joint that'll go in the control arm that will give me what I need, which is still less expensive than, the other easy solution is everybody makes a slotted upper control arm for EG Civics, but I'm trying to keep it to a more easily replaceable ball joint. I'm trying to keep this is all stock. That's why I kept it this way. So if I need to replace it, boom, there's another stock one. Easy, fast, reliable, no problem. So we'll see.
Good idea.
But anyway, it's good enough for now.
For those of you who have not listened to our how to make a race car handle episode, they got to be equal.
Or close to it.
4 on one side and 1.4 on the other side.
1.8. So it's
1.8, yeah. That's not so bad.
It's not so bad. We're going to see how it goes. Equal
Chrissy.
Is better. This is a lot of people have raced with worse. But actually now the car is actually done with everything that I can do with it right now. Like the kill switch mount is in tonight. It's all there. Everything's like tire pressures, wheels torqued. It just needs safety gear now, those are big. Roll cage, fire system, cool box, and pump and all that stuff. But that's all it needs. I'm going to go and get some antique plates for it because a 93 Civic qualifies as an antique car.
That's awesome.
And then I don't need an inspection and I can drive it around.
Will you or will you not take it to Front Street in Philly where the kids race their Civics, and see if you can catch some dollars?
I will not. No.
Pinks?
I'm probably going to drive it to work.
He doesn't have the underglow.
He doesn't even
drive. We can get him underglow.
Oh, you have some underglow.
And
you don't even drive to work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Needs the
I'll drive to work sometimes.
Danger to manifold screen. Yeah.
Okay, so here's another question.
I'll annoy my coworkers when that thing shows up. But...
if Joey 5-0 revs at you at the stoplight, will you punch it?
No, it's an antique car. Come on.
You can't. the fender flares. What did our friends from CISO called you? They're big boy fender flares because they're quite large.
Spelled B-O